When you start over, remember this. When everything falls apart, it's easy to believe it's the end. But sometimes it's just the beginning in disguise. Starting over isn't weakness. It's the quiet courage to rebuild when no one is watching. It's standing in the ruins of what you thought life would be, and choosing to create something new anyway. You won't have all the answers. You won't feel ready. You'll question everything, even yourself. And that's okay, because starting over is not about knowing how to begin. It's about having the heart to begin again. Every ending you face clears space for something honest, something built with more truth, more grace, more you. The world will tell you to move on fast, to fill the silence, to fix what's broken. But healing has its own rhythm. Don't rush it. The ashes you rise from will still cling to you. The memories will echo. The pain will whisper, "You failed." But if you listen closer, you'll hear another voice, soft, steady, unshaken, saying, "You survived." And that changes everything. Because when you start over, you don't return to who you were. You grow into who you were meant to be. You begin to live with eyes that see differently, grateful for small things, stronger in quiet moments, gentler with yourself. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the breaking wasn't your undoing. It was your becoming. Starting over is not a step backward. It's a return to truth, a quiet rewriting of your story, one chapter at a time. There will be days when progress feels invisible, when you question if anything is changing at all. But change rarely announces itself. It happens quietly, like sunrise through fog. You'll wake up one morning and realize the pain doesn't ache the same. The past doesn't pull as hard, and the person in the mirror doesn't look lost anymore, just lighter. That's how growth works. It sneaks up on you. It humbles you before it rebuilds you. When you start over, you learn that control was never the goal. Peace was. And sometimes peace comes only after you stop fighting what's gone. Let go of the idea that life must look the way it once did. You're not meant to rebuild the old version. You're meant to create something deeper, something wiser, something born from all that you've learned. Starting over isn't about forgetting the past. It's about honoring it, taking what it taught you, and walking forward lighter, freer, unafraid of who you're becoming. You've already survived the hardest part, the ending. Now you get to choose how the new beginning feels, and maybe this time it won't be about proving anything. Maybe it will just be about being present, living with grace, with calm strength, with faith in what's still unseen. And as you walk forward, remember, starting over doesn't mean starting from zero. You carry every lesson, every scar, every moment of grace with you. You're not the same person who once broke. You're stronger now, quieter maybe, but deeper. There's a wisdom in you that pain had to carve out. Don't hide that. Don't wish it away, let it guide you. Because now you know how fragile things can be, and how strong you can become. You understand that peace isn't found in perfection, but in acceptance, in learning to meet life as it is and still find beauty there. And that's the gift of starting over. You stop chasing what's gone and begin embracing what's here. You start to see that even in the unknown, there's promise. Even in the empty spaces, there's potential. Your life doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It just has to feel true to you. So take your time, move slowly, speak gently to yourself. You're building something sacred, a life that fits the person you've become. And every step, no matter how uncertain, is still a step forward. So when you stand at the edge of a new beginning, don't rush, don't panic, don't demand to know what comes next. Take a breath. Look at how far you've come just to get here. You've faced endings that could have broken you, but instead, they became your foundation. You've shed versions of yourself that no longer carried truth. You've learned that losing things doesn't mean losing yourself. Every time you thought it was over, life was quietly whispering, "Not yet," because you're not here to repeat the past. You're here to rise from it, to write differently, to live softer, to love clearer. You will rebuild, not into who you were, but into who you were always meant to be. And one day you'll look around and realize that starting over wasn't a detour. It was the way. The universe doesn't erase what was. It transforms it. It takes the broken pieces and shapes them into wisdom. That's what you carry now. Not the weight of what ended, but the quiet strength of what survived. So keep walking, even when it's slow, even when it's uncertain, because every step you take now is a prayer toward your next chapter. And if you ever forget, if you ever doubt, remember this. You're not starting from nothing. You're starting from experience, from resilience, from grace. And that's everything you need. There will come a moment, a quiet morning, a still evening, and when you realize you're no longer trying to fix the past, you're simply living again. Not perfectly, not without fear, but honestly. You'll notice how your laughter sounds different now, softer but more real. How your heart feels steadier, even when the future is still uncertain. That's how healing looks in real time. It's not loud, it doesn't demand applause, it just happens. In the way you carry yourself, in the way you forgive yourself, in the way you finally stop searching for what you already are. Because one day, you'll see that starting over was never about becoming someone new. It was about remembering the person you were before the world told you who to be. You'll stop trying to rebuild the old house, and instead, plant a new garden. One that grows slowly, but grows honestly. And when the sunlight touches that new growth, you'll understand. Nothing was lost. It was all preparing you to begin again with open hands. So when you stand at the edge of a new beginning, don't rush. Don't panic. Don't demand to know what comes next. Take a breath. Look at how far you've come just to get here. You've faced endings that could have broken you, but instead, they became your foundation. You've shed versions of yourself that no longer carried truth. You've learned that losing things doesn't mean losing yourself. Every time you thought it was over, life was quietly whispering, "Not yet." Because you're not here to repeat the past. You're here to rise from it, to write differently, to live softer, to love clearer. You will rebuild, not into who you were, but into who you were always meant to be. And one day you'll look around and realize that starting over wasn't a detour. It was the way. The universe doesn't erase what was. It transforms it. It takes the broken pieces and shapes them into wisdom. That's what you carry now, not the weight of what ended, but the quiet strength of what survived. So keep walking, even when it's slow, even when it's uncertain. Because every step you take now is a prayer toward your next chapter. And if you ever forget, if you ever doubt, remember this. You're not starting from nothing. You're starting from experience, from resilience, from grace. And that's everything you need. And when you rise tomorrow, don't expect the world to suddenly change. Change doesn't always announce itself with thunder. Sometimes it whispers, in the way your heart feels just a little lighter, in the way your steps don't shake as much, in the way your hope begins to return, quietly, gently. That's how renewal begins, not as an explosion but as a breath. The same breath you thought you'd lost finding its way back into you. You don't need to see the finish line. You just need to take the next step. Because every time you move, forward even by an inch, you are proving something extraordinary. That your spirit is stronger than your struggle. Remember, the mountain never gets smaller. You simply learn how to climb better. You find your rhythm. You learn where to rest. You discover that the same weight that once broke you is now building you. And someday, when you stand at the top, when you finally see how far you've come, you'll understand that every moment of exhaustion, every tear, every doubt was not a detour. It was the path itself. You were never just trying, you were transforming. And every bit of tiredness was carving strength into your soul. So when you feel tired of trying, remember this. You are not at the end. You are in the process of becoming unbreakable. Take one more breath, one more step, and trust that this moment, right now, is proof that you still have what it takes. Because strength isn't found in how loud you fight. It's found in how quietly you rise, again and again, no matter how tired you are. Let this be your reminder. You've made it through every day you thought you couldn't. and you will again. And one day, you'll realize something powerful. That it was never about winning every battle. It was about staying in the fight long enough to remember who you are. You'll see that the strength you've been searching for was never waiting at the finish line. It was quietly growing in the moments you refused to stop walking. Because the truth is, life doesn't reward speed. It rewards endurance. It honors the ones who keep showing up, even when no one notices, even when the results are invisible, even when the applause never comes. That's where true courage lives, in the silent persistence of an ordinary soul who refuses to give up. So if you're tired tonight, don't quit. Rest, breathe, then rise again. Because tired doesn't mean finished. It means you're still fighting for what matters. And one day you'll thank this version of yourself, the one who refused to give up, because this right here was the moment you became stronger than you ever knew.